Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Happy Friday, Cowboys Nation. Fired up this morning. Fired up. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Texas Family Fitness, Freeman Mazda Hyundai, and Worth the Poor. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Oh, it's Wrestlemania weekend. I'm kind of hyped, man. I'm kind of hyped. But we'll get into a little bit about Mania in a second. Y'all aren't here for WrestleMania. You're here for the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. It's Fan Friday. I got the mailbag back, so we'll get to that in the second leg of the show. But we also got some big movement in the NFL. Y'all know it ain't the Cowboys, but we'll talk about it anyway. We got to talk about it. Also, the 30 visit list is out. Some interesting things in that 30 visit list. I feel like if you look hard enough, you can kind of get an understanding what the Cowboys want to do. So we'll talk about that 30 visit list. I'll get your opinions on it. If you want to call into the show, you can. 351-999-3787. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. Let me know if my mic check is good. I feel like my audio sounds interesting, but y'all let me know if it's cool. Let me know if y'all can see that call-in line if you need it. And as my guy Oscar Sullivan says, hey, yo. Ah, man, if I'm in the building when they do that tribute, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one if I'm in the building when they do that tribute. Real quick, shout-outs before I get into my wrestling spiel. All right, we got Professor O in the building, Sin City, Cowboy, Fresh, Fade, Tom Downey Burner account, Antoine Swain, Mike Harris, B47, Vic. I got your question, too, on Instagram, so I'm going to run that back, Vic. Stay tuned. Jack Bynum, TC915, Marcus Ball, Danny Woods, Mackenzie, two-time. TC, we got you already. Adam Mack, Jesse Falls, Scotty Laxton. What's up, Scotty? D-Block 88, my bro Mel Hayes, Derek Fisher, Captain America, how are you? Matt Goddix, over here on Facebook, Oscar Sullivan, Peter Rizzo, Jonah Hill. Am I saying that right? I always do that. John Garcia, Chuck P, D.A. Lee, and we got Timo in the building. Yeah, I had to break out the HBK today, Dave. I had to break out the HBK because it's WrestleMania weekend, and he is Mr. WrestleMania. The showstopper, the Heartbreak Kid, my favorite wrestler of all time. Don't get it twisted. I got a lot, but he's my favorite. I don't think there's a better one in that ring than HBK. And let me calm myself down. I might need my safe word already because
I want me some glory hole.
For a lot of y'all that know me personally and may be watching at home, I am very big into old school wrestling. So while we let people build up and get into this thing, Antoine Swain said, Undertaker. Yeah, I like Undertaker too, but it's all about the Heartbreak Kid. Let me tell y'all a couple of my favorite WrestleMania moments as we allow this chat here to grow before we get into things. Maybe my top moment, one of my favorite moments of all time at WrestleMania was WrestleMania 17 when the TLC 2, tables, ladders, and chairs, right? You got the Hardy Boys. You got Edge and Christian. And you got the Dudley Boys. Maybe the best tag team rivalry ever in regards to the magnitude of everything surrounding these guys. I mean, this was at the pinnacle of all of their careers. And Edge climbs up on the ladder while Jeff Hardy is holding on to the belt and he gets speared from the top. As a kid, you got to understand, I ain't never seen nothing like that. That was just an amazing, amazing moment. I was going to put another one up here, the original ladder match, right? Hey, yo. And Shawn Michaels. Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels deserve to be up there too. But these are just a few of some of my favorite moments. Another one, Austin and Bret. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart. WrestleMania 13. This is where Stone Cold's rise just took off. A lot of people are going to say King of the Ring, which is fair, right? His speech at King of the Ring. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's true. But I feel like this right here, where Austin didn't tap out, he just passed out. I think this is what set Austin apart and just sent him to the stratosphere, and the rest is history. Going to go crazy when Stone Cold comes out tomorrow night. I'm going to go crazy. And then this is more of an updated one. Seth freaking Rollins. I think Seth Rollins is one of the best guys doing it right now. I'm not as in tune as I used to be, but I do know Seth is a beast. And this happened, I think, in 13-ish. Something. Y'all can help me out with that. But this was turned into a triple threat match, but it was Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar. And Seth Rollins won the Money in the Bank. He came out and cashed it. Never had happened before at WrestleMania, and he stole the title. Just an epic moment at that time. I thought, honestly, it really set the precedent on how to use that Money in the Bank. He set the precedent there. And then this was Seth Rollins. I thought he was at his peak as a heel champion. So a couple of those WrestleMania moments. There are a ton more, a whole lot more, man. But I just want to kind of bring that out as we build up to this thing here. Maybe as we get into this roundup, y'all can let me know a couple of y'all favorite wrestlers of all time. HBK, Shawn Michaels, Rock, those are the main ones, right? Triple H, Undertaker. Maybe I'll do a top 10. I did a top 10 list before on Raw. I did a top 10 superstars from the Attitude Era. I might do that again. Me and Vach. We always talk about it, but we got to do it. All right. We got enough of y'all up in here. Let's hit this roundup and get into this content, baby. It's Feel Good Friday.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Yes, indeed. The morning roundup presented by Texas Family Fitness. Listen, y'all. Weather's getting nice out there. Weather's getting nice. Might want to hit that gym. If you're in the DFW area, check out Texas Family Fitness. Strive for progress, not perfection. Fitness goals are not accomplished with one workout. Progress towards your goals with Texas Family Fitness. They now have 13 different locations in the DFW area. Do me a favor, check them out. Call them up, hit them up, visit, or go online at texasfamilyfitness.com and let them know that your boy sent you. Oh, you know I was going to bring this up, Cowboys Nation. You didn't think I was going to forget. I'm burying the lead, you damn Skippy. I'm burying the lead because I wanted to make sure it was the first thing on our morning roundup. We can call it breaking news if you want yesterday. Bobby Wagner does indeed sign with the LA Rams. You lose one Hall of Famer, you get another Hall of Famer back. I mean, the rich just continue to get richer, it looks like. 5 years, $50 million, up to $65 million. Now, you know damn well the Cowboys wasn't coming close. Close to that. They would have just said, listen, Bobby, we'll give you 5 years, $5 million. 5 year, 50, man, they're not coming close to that. Now, the real money, which I don't even know if it came out yet, maybe somebody could tell me, is likely a 2-year deal. At most a 3-year deal. And you know they added some void years on that. Again, I'm not going to sit here. How can you come on here and roast the Rams? A lot of people say, oh, but the cap is going to catch up to them. Okay. When it does, maybe they'll have 2 or 3 championships by that time. And then who the hell cares? All I know is, if you are a Rams fan, this has got to be the funnest start to 2022 of any sport fan, really. Not only do you go through the playoffs and win the Super Bowl in a dramatic fashion, might I add, but you then add 2 really good damn players and one a Hall of Famer in Bobby Wagner and Allen Robinson. You sign a couple of your guys, you extend your quarterback, you're about to extend your all-world defensive tackle forever. This has got to be fun, man. I can't relate, Rams fans, but I'd imagine it has to be fun. It's me. It's me. It's DDP. Bang! I should have opened up with that. I love that one, Shundra. Back to Cowboy stuff. So, a couple days ago, McCarthy spoke with the media. And a little nugget that I saw Jory post that I wanted to talk about here was that McCarthy is looking to add on to the perimeter passing game. That's the focus this offseason. And here's his quote when he talked about it. Coming off our correction from last year, we want to get the timing right, the spacing right, the details of the passing game, particularly against max coverage and aggressive coverage. Opportunities we didn't do the best against last year. It's nice to know that they're acknowledging that now, because oftentimes Kellen Moore pretty much scoffed over that. Anytime he was pressed about it, he didn't say much, you know. It was just, our system is this, our system is that. But to hear McCarthy kind of get a little bit in detail in the offseason about what they need to fix and acknowledge that they had trouble with max coverage, I like it. I like it. I like that from McCarthy. Because Kellen didn't really, like I said, didn't say anything. And if he didn't say anything, but he showed the ability to adjust to it, I'll be fine. But he didn't do either. He just acted like he had all the answers and everything was fine. But we synced it, right? We saw that it wasn't. So it's pretty clear that McCarthy is going to be a bit more hands-on with this offense in the offseason, maybe even during the season. So I'm interested to see how that translates on the field, because a few things that we suspected, he came out and confirmed that he was hands-off with the offense. It was all about, hey, whoever, what do you say? Whoever draws it up, calls it up. That was Kellen Moore. And then finally, you got the Cowboys 30 visit. Yeah, we synced it, Bill. 30 visit list, which I find to be very interesting. We'll get into that in a quick second, but I want to make sure I don't miss out on some of these super chats and things like that in chat. Let me see here. Yep, I already missed one. I think I did. Let me get to you. Will says McCarthy is fighting for his job now. He is. And you know what's interesting? When Jason Garrett was fighting for his job, the reports came out he wanted to call plays. He wanted to do a little bit more, and they said no. It seems like they're doing the opposite here, where McCarthy's not calling plays. Kellen is still their golden child, but he's more hands-on, and you heard both Joneses, definitely Jerry, say they want him more involved. So, I mean, maybe they're learning from their mistakes in the past. Hey, Voodoo Black, you wrong for that one. Call that man Mike McHamburglar. Tom, appreciate you for the $2 donation.
Super chat.
Sky, you see the news about Dan Snyder? Is this the 2 books thing where the Commanders, aka the Washington football people, they're cooking their books? So not only do they have moral issues and things like that, and just a terrible franchise and treating their employees correctly in their damn stadium, but they're cooking the books too. All right. I don't like it, because I feel like they're going to make that man sell the team. The good person in me says he should sell the team and let somebody else run the organization. The evil Dallas Cowboys fan in me says, no. Let Dan keep running this organization into the ground. And then the Cowboy fan in me also says, well, damn it, are we doing the same thing? No, we're not doing the same thing. But we ain't had no success, but whatever. Come on, where are these supers at? There we go. Sin City, if I'm not mistaken. I think you did drop one earlier. Yes, you did. Appreciate you for the $5 donation.
Super chat.
He says the salary cap holdout was for Jerry's child support payment. What's up, Sky? Wow. I saw that too. I really don't care about that. I don't care who he slept with, but Broad has said something yesterday, and he's been saying it for a while. This general manager and player personnel president are not like other general managers and player personnel presidents, where they're out in the field, they're studying tape, they're trying to figure all this out, how to build teams. Because of who they are and the Joneses, they're more focused on other things. That's why they say, hey, Will McClay, you go out and do that stuff. He talked about how the 30 visits were very important to Steven and Jerry because they're not out on the road. They're not watching the tape. So the 30 visits for them are about going to meet the person, going to meet the player, and seeing what the person is like and getting a feel, so on draft day they can maybe break a tie or say, hey, I like how I felt when I spoke to this man, or I didn't really get a good feeling with this kid, et cetera, which is flawed in my opinion. But that's their thing. Now here's the 30 visits. I'll blow it up for y'all. I thought this was really interesting when I went and looked. They got 3 of the top first-round wide receivers on the list: Drake London, Chris Olave, Traylon Burks, right? All different types of wide receivers. But it's clear that they'll target one, it seems like, if they fall to 24. Now, obviously, at 24, you're not likely to get the top wide receiver, but this class is interesting because I don't know that there's a for sure stamp it wide receiver 1. I know Garrett Wilson is the guy, but we're not talking about Chase, right? We're not talking about a Jamar Chase type. Nonetheless, there's something to like about all these wide receivers, but to see that they are bringing in 3 of the top first round guys to me, shows that obviously if someone's there at 24, they'll take it. Still not sure how to feel about that. I think it has more to do with the approach in the Cowboys offseason than it does the actual player. But this is what happens when you kind of put yourself in that position to have to take a bunch of different positions early on in the draft. Another interesting note. 3 linebackers are on that list, right? Devin Lloyd out of Utah, Quay Walker out of Georgia, and Devin Harper out of Oklahoma State. Now, Quay and Devin are guys that are going to probably go in the first 2 days. Whereas Devin Harper is interesting because he's not that big name everybody talks about, but he did show off his athleticism and his explosiveness at his pro day. And he just fits under that Dan Quinn criteria I always talk about at linebacker, right? He's at 6 foot tall, 234 pounds, runs between a 4.4 and 4.5, really athletic, had a great vertical jump. He's got some of those traits. But a name that was left off that I'm torn on how they feel about him, maybe I got to do some more digging, reach out to some people, is Nakobe Dean. Now, on one hand, you got to wonder, is Dean too short for Dan Quinn's liking? Because he fits every other athletic trait. He has the weight, he has the athleticism, he has the speed, he has the ability, but a little short. Checks in at about 5'11". That's a little short for Dan Quinn, right? But I could also be saying, well, Sky, you're reading into this too much. You can't invite all the Georgia players to the top 30 visits or to be half of your list. So maybe it's one of those things where, Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy, they were at the Georgia Pro Day. Maybe they say, I don't need to bring in Dean. We were down there. We talked to him or whatever. And we'll roll with that. By the way, they did bring in Jordan Davis, who was on that list, and that makes me... Jordan Davis is coming. He's not on here. They forgot to put his name on this list, whoever made it on Twitter. But Jordan Davis is on that list. But here's the number one most interesting thing to me, Cowboys Nation, on this top 30 visit. And don't take the 30 visit list lightly. The Cowboys usually will draft a player or two from it. They find these very important. But there are 4 tight ends on this list. 4. And if I'm not mistaken, just go around here and look again. That is the most of any position. We've been talking about this tight end position in regards to the tag, right? In regards to the players that they're bringing in or they're interested in. Here are the 4 names. Jelani Woods out of Virginia, Cade Otton out of Washington, Jeremy Ruckert out of Ohio State, and Jalen Wademeyer out of A&M. None of these guys are the uber athletes because they don't really bring in those dudes. But if I had to say who's the best athlete of the bunch, I like Jelani Woods' potential to be. I like the potential of Jelani Woods to be the best athlete of the bunch, but none of these guys scream at you like a Pitts, right? Obviously, none of them are these Pitts types. But I find it interesting, Cowboys Nation, because you got a guy under contract right now that you're paying about $11 million to. But if you go listen to Stephen Jones talk about, okay, so there's 4 defense ends. Okay. Stephen Jones talk about the tag on Dalton Schultz. It's very similar to how he talks about all the tags over the last decade. And there's only been like 4 guys he's tagged, but it's very much, yeah, we want to see what happens here, but obviously we tagged him, so we like him, right? It's the hardball thing. They're not going to, if it was an easy contract to get done, this would have been done. Really shouldn't be a difficult contract. I think what they're struggling with, if they're even negotiating, is you're a tight end. You're not Kittle. You're not Kelsey. But he's probably coming for that money, right? At a position that we all agree that we don't think needs to be paid like that. But then why you tag him? So I wonder if they're covering their asses in case they don't cave to Dalton Schultz's request. It's something that I brought up a few weeks ago, just passing by. Like, well, maybe he does play on 1 year, but I thought that they would at least come to an agreement on a contract. Maybe they don't. And if they don't want to have to go into free agency to get their tight end in the future. They likely want to draft him, get a year under his belt, and roll. Now, this also could just be, hey, we need a tight end too. We don't believe in McEwen. We need a tight end too. Some of these names, though, that the potential is much, much more than tight end too. That's all I'm saying. So keep an eye on that. Obviously the deadline for a tag Cowboys Nation is July-ish, middle of July. If nothing happens there, I don't foresee Dalton Schultz coming back. But we are early in the game. It's April 1st, April Fools. We got a couple months to get this figured out. And hopefully they do, because that can lower the cap hit. But doesn't really matter. They're not really going to use the money. But they love to have that ability to do so. So just keep an eye on it. All right, before we get to the mailbag segment, we do have a call. Our guy Los in the building. What's up, Los?
Good morning, Sky. Hope you're having a good Friday. Feel good Friday. I just want to say you have a good time in WrestleMania this weekend.
Thank you.
I know you're gonna go out there, have a great time. I know you're a huge WWE fan, and I got nothing bad to say about the Cowboys today. Just want to talk to WWE real quick. So, question for you, Sky.
Sure.
I didn't know. I really didn't grow up in the era with the Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Stone Cold, and that era. But I kind of grew up in the beginning years of the 2000s, right? Now, one of my underrated WWE athletes of all time, I would say, and really hasn't gone to attention, is Jeff Hardy. And that was my favorite wrestler growing up. So and John Cena. No particular order, man. But this is like, I'm really happy for that. Wrestling's making a comeback, and people are getting back into it. Because when I was a kid growing up, it's me and my brother always used to do those finishing moves on each other in the bed, or used to pretend. So just it's good to have basically the WWE coming in and having this for our stadium. But yeah, and hey, make that money with no job.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy is definitely an underrated athlete at his prime. He's still doing swanton bombs, but my man was doing swanton bombs off 100-foot ladders and top of roofs and crazy. He for real, he hardcore wrestler, but he didn't really participate in that division. But he's that type of dude. But yeah, that's a good one. John Cena, to me, I'm not. I was out of the ruthless aggression era. I was halfway in, halfway out. I did not like that John Cena. Doctor of Thugonomics, that bull crap kind of offended me. I didn't like it. The new John Cena, he cool or whatever, but he's not my taste. But I get how he's this generation's Hulk Hogan and this generation's Stone Cold and all that stuff. I get it, but he ain't my taste.
Gotcha. And one last thing before I let you go. Will we ever have another boogeyman? Because, man, that dude was scary. I ain't going to lie, Guy. But, yeah, you have a good morning, man.
Thanks, brother.
You take it easy.
Appreciate you. Boogeyman was strange. He was strange. I guess my version of Boogeyman is Papa Shango. Right? Obviously, the Boogeyman, and this is what wrestlers do. This isn't new. It's just like rapping, right? You go and you look at other styles and you see how you can, mesh that together. I had Papa Shango, a.k.a. the Godfather now. He's the Godfather. He's going the whole, but he was Papa Shango and a bunch of other things. I think it was Kama too. And now, that, I think 2 generations later, they got the Boogeyman. It's a rip off the Papa Shango to me, man. I love this talk. I love this wrestling talk. Come on, give it to me. I like it. All right, let's get into the start of this mailbag. And before we do that, I got to bring up the ride of the week, right? This week's ride of the week is the 2022 Mazda CX-5 2.5S. More than any other mainstream compact crossover, the 2022 Mazda CX-5 makes its drivers feel special. The 2022 CX-5's transcendent traits simply outpace all of its classmates. You got the Apple CarPlay, the Android Auto if you're not an Apple, backup camera, heated seats, adaptive cruise control, the Wi-Fi hotspot, and it starts the base model under $30,000. If you need more information, you can easily hit up freemanmazda.net or visit the lovely gentlemen and ladies down at Freeman Mazda in Irving, Texas. Promise you, they will take care of you. All right, let's get into it.
It's time. It's time. It is time for Mail Time.
The mail's here. You've got mail.
Mail time. Jacob said, who else loves Rikishi's dance? Man, Rikishi was a beast too. Love Rikishi during that time. I see somebody bring up Eddie. Rest in peace, Eddie. I almost wore that one today. I did, but it's Mania, and I had to put on Mr. WrestleMania. Papa Shango was crazy as hell, Mike Harris. Crazy. All right, let's get into the first question. Matthew Silva over on Facebook. Appreciate the question. Wasn't a whole lot on Facebook. A lot of this is Instagram. Shout out to Instagram. He says, what's the Cowboys' biggest focus in this year's upcoming draft? Not making any moves in free agency. They obviously see something in the draft, right? Like always, you guys can participate in this mailbag segment as well. The biggest focus in this upcoming draft, I don't know that they have one particular one. But if you look at the way they are operating so far in free agency, like you said, it's not much going on, so they see something in the draft, right? Well, listen to what Steven said. McClay told Stephen Jones that there are about 220 draftable players in this class. On a normal year, it's about 150 to 160. So they feel like this draft class is deep, right? So they see something. If I had to guess what their focus would be based on their moves, obviously guard is one. Wide receiver is another. And I don't care what Steven says. He can't be that naive to think linebacker is not a part of this equation. So I don't know that there's one particular focus. There should be multiple because they've backed themselves into that corner. Now, they got time to not do so. There's 3 weeks till draft night. Right? But they've backed themselves into a corner to need about 3 or 4 positions on this team. And linebacker, yes, is part of it. Offensive tackle, too, if you're keeping it a bean. But linebacker is part of it because you know why? The draft isn't about just the first year. You could argue if you want, you ain't going to play me for boo-boo the fool, but you can argue if you want Micah, Jabril, and Leighton are a cool top 3 and you like Gifford. Go ahead if you want. But beyond 2022, the only linebackers under contract are Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox. A position where you really kind of need 4 to 5 guys to be able to play. So it's up there to me. Only Speak Facts. I want to say that's Jeremy over here on YouTube, but I'm not quite sure. But Only Speak Facts. Appreciate the question on Instagram. He says, our defense plays the most man coverage in the league. Teams now have 3 great wide receivers. That being said, if Boss Man can take that year 2 jump and Stingley is there at 24, don't you pull that trigger? And this ain't a knock on the other cornerbacks. I'm just saying, if you can get better, get better. Absolutely, you pull the trigger if he's there at 24. And y'all know how I feel about the cornerback position. I think me and B were talking about this last week. If it's just any old cornerback there, no, I don't. I think you have more pressing needs. But if Stingley really falls to you, and you make a great point about the league, it's a passing league as is, and teams are trying to run out 2 to 3 wide receivers to press you. You definitely take Stingley. I mean, he would have to be far and away the top guy on your board at 24, right? And I know he's one of the guys that are getting bad press as we speak. But hey, if you're not going to gamble in free agency, you got to gamble in the draft if you look at Stingley as a gamble. And honestly, that's more of a gift that fell to your lap, if you ask me. So only speak facts. Yes, I think you should pull the trigger. Let me ask the Cowboys Nation. Do you pull the trigger if Stingley is there? Slide Boss Man into the slot and you roll with Boss Man, Stingley, and Trayvon Diggs as your cornerbacks. Tom said, thank you, Sky. We don't draft for just this season. You need foresight with roster construction. Yeah, absolutely. I don't really knock them either they usually have foresight when it comes to the draft. They do. They usually have foresight. Look how they attacked the defensive line last year. You're really not going into this draft having to draft a bunch of defensive ends. You probably need one in the top 100. You don't need a bunch of 3 techs. You just need one tech. And they feel like they probably can get that on day 3, which if Jordan Davis is there, then they got it on day 1. Interesting. Patel says no, he would not pull the trigger on Stingley. He said you absolutely pull that trigger, but don't sleep on Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis's contract. Jordan Lewis would be a fantastic trade target. If you get Stingley at 24, let me pull that out. If you get Stingley at 24, Jordan Davis would be a great target to say, hey, guys, he's on the market. But be smart about it, right? Like be smart about it in the sense of don't say he's on the market. If y'all don't trade for him, we going to cut him. Or don't give that type of energy. Because I'll accumulate all the damn talent. If you don't want to give me something decent for a Jordan Lewis, I keep his ass. Now I got a stacked cornerback room. Anthony Brown could be another one. I don't think he'd probably fetch as much as Jordan Lewis. I think people are higher on J. Lou than they would be AB. But I'm not sleeping on J. Lou, but Derek Stingley's ceiling is way higher, I think. Tom said I'd call in that pick if he was there. And Lee says, does Stingley love football? If not, nah, bro. See, and that's the thing right now about Stingley. He's getting that. And again, maybe it's not. Let me slow down here. I almost said he's getting the Micah treatment. If you guys remember last year, Micah Parsons. So many people overanalyzing these draft picks when you get to this point a couple weeks out. Oh, I don't know if Micah loves football. He's immature. Well, you see this thing that happened back in 2015 or 2016. We don't like that. And a lot of people didn't know Micah the person. They were judging an 18-year-old, which if we put all of our decision that we made at 18 years old, 19 years old, out in the public, y'all would look at yourselves differently. Y'all would look at each other differently. You've all made those type of mistakes. Dumb, stupid mistakes. But the person that Micah was, or is now, and was at the point of his draft, was not that young buck he was at that time. I don't know that about Stingley. Like, you have to do more homework on Derek Stingley. But if it's just stuff that he did in the past, or it's just rumors, I'd pull the trigger. But I guess I see what you're saying, Lee. Like, if he truly doesn't love football, you want guys that want to come in here and love football like Micah loved football. You said Thibodeau has question marks too, but you know he's going to go top 10, probably top 5. Before 7, Vic said, if it's the Micah / Jamar Chase treatment, then miss me with that. Yeah, Chase still went top 5. Micah, I couldn't believe it. I ain't going to hold you. I said it going into the draft. Micah Parsons, to me, was a top 5 talent in this draft and was by far and away the best defensive player. But quarterbacks got pushed up that list. Wide receiver Chase got pushed up, which ain't really get pushed up. He was a top 5 talent. And then the question marks dropped Micah Parsons. But the tape, to me, showed he was one of the best, if not the best player in the draft, bro. It's me. All right, let's get back to the mailbag. Hey, yo, Banks. Hey, yo, Nick. Shout out to Mikey Day. Ayo Banks on Instagram says, if everyone else worth taking is gone, but Nakobe Dean and Kenyon Green / Zion Johnson, so one of the two, are sitting there, who are you taking? Nakobe Dean, Kenyon Green, Zion, one of the two. I love Nakobe. If it's just me, I would like to take him. But just kind of looking at what the Cowboys are doing right now and listening to what the Cowboys are saying right now, they say, oh, we feel good. Whoever this, all right, we got to block this person. Oh, we feel good about our linebacking room. Shouldn't. So to me, I think they would take Kenyon Green or Zion Johnson. Who would y'all take in that situation? I think Dallas would go with the guard. This is one of those where either one, if you take to me, you're good to go. It's a matter of how you feel. I think Professor O was talking about this the other day. How do you feel about the opposite position in the second round? Do you feel good about a linebacker being there at 56? Do you feel good about one of the guards you like being there at 56? Hell, do the Cowboys even look at linebacker as a need in the top 2 rounds? All right. Tom says, I'd take Green if I had those 3. It's really 2. He's just saying one of the guards in the Kobe Dean. Ronnie would say, okay, he would take the guard, Zion. Toby would take Green. Man, I look at it as just, I don't think you can lose. Don't think you can make a wrong decision here, because the Cowboys put themselves in position to need both of these positions. If you ask me, you know, I don't really care for LVE. I hope like hell he has an all-pro year, but that's not how they view it. And when we're looking at what Stephen Jones said, they view our guy as a linebacker, really. And I think that's interesting. Talk about Curse. They view Curse as a linebacker. Mr. Bruce Wayne, I want to ask you guys this question too. He says, how would you feel about Anthony Hitchens? I think I said no on this when he got cut. I mean, you need the bodies, right? At this point, beggars can't be choosers. So you need the bodies. Hitch is going to play. He's a veteran. I think come in here and be a leader, things like that. But I kind of would want Quan. And again, I know I'm pushing this Quan Alexander on y'all. But I think I would want Quan Alexander over Anthony Hitchens because I just think the talent level to hit is higher. And I don't want to take past and put it on the present, but we got hurt guys last year and they were healthy. All right, LVE stayed healthy for whatever reason. KZ healthy. Hooker was healthy. These were hurt guys. Quan's a hurt guy. It's a risk I'm willing to take because of the talent. I look at Hitch on the downside of his career. Right? I don't look at him as no what's the short dude, played in Buffalo, played in Washington. Also played in St. Louis with the Rams. The linebacker. I mean, he played for a long time, and he seemed to get better and better and better with age. I cannot remember his name. Brain fart. But he was a Pro Bowler and well into his 30s. I don't look at Hitch like that. You know? London Fletcher. Thank you, London Fletcher. You know, I don't look at Hitch like a London Fletcher. So I pass. I go younger. All right, let's get to B47 Vic's question on Instagram, but he's also a YouTube supporter, so appreciate you. He says, how confident are we in Osa and Neville? And should they run the middle to start the year? Let's give it a confidence level number here. If we're putting it on 1 to 10, I would say 6. I would say 6, and that 6 is really because I'm living on the hope creed of Neville Gallimore, that he can take a year 3 jump. I told y'all, for me, Osa is that year. I see Osa being that year 2 jump guy. He's a guy I have a ton of faith in and kind of solidifying himself as a dude on this defense. He hit a wall last year. He hit a rookie wall, but I think the traits are there. He has a full off season. Quinn is back. You know, D-Law's back. Mike is there. I feel like Osa is going to take the next step. I don't know about Neville. Neville came back. He was okay. He was good when he first came back. Then he kind of hit a wall of his own. Got into the playoffs and kind of disappeared. And then when he did appear, it happened to be on a very crucial play, and it wasn't a good one. It was a hands to the face. So Neville's one of those guys like, okay, I gave you the benefit of the doubt last year because your rookie year was good. I got to see it now, Neville. So I would say about a 6. But a lot of that 6 is weighing in on Osa. I would love to go get me a true 1 tech and let Neville and Osa share those 3 tech reps. The Reaper says they don't draft defensive tackles. Josh Clayton says 7 on Osa and Neville. Vic says 7.5 because I think Osa could be a menace. That's where I'm at with this. It's more Osa than Neville. It's more Osa than Neville. Neville was hindered by the elbow. He was, but let's see. Michael Helton will want to get Wyatt. Oh, I would love. Listen, at first when Wyatt came on the scene in regards to this draft stuff, I was like, can he play 1 tech? I'm not sure. And then I said, damn it, I don't care. I'm putting him over there. Put him over. Shundra says, we need Sauce Gardner, Troy Anderson, Taquan Thornton, Cam Jurgens. I think Cam Jurgens was on that 30 list too, by the way. We think Sauce is falling to 24? That's another. See, it's 2 corners. Sauce and Stingley. If any of them are there, then throw everything I say about the corner position out the window. You take them. Big Troy Anderson fan in that 3rd, 4th round area if he's even there. If he's even there. All right. And then finally, who from B Havoc P14 on Instagram, thank you for the question. Who would be your favorite / dream draft pick? Very easy one for me, but let me ask you guys this question right here. Who would be your dream draft pick? And remember, this is a dream. This isn't reality. We're talking about dream, right? Dream means they're probably not going to be there. So you don't gotta back yourself into a corner and pick somebody realistically, Cowboys Nation. Who's your dream draft pick? Jacob says Kyle Hamilton. Tom, Kyle Hamilton. A JT, the pipe. See, this is, what kind of... JT said Dean. Peter says Jordan Davis. Chandra, Jordan Davis. Dean or Davis. Sauce Gardner says Stage. Linderbaum says Peebo from Dallas. Okay, you're a plumber. All right. You know, people have some weird, JT, salute to you, and I hope your plumbing business is doing great. Y'all check out JT the Plumber, man. People have been having some weird names on YouTube. I have to be careful. I got caught up a couple weeks ago on the name. My man Mo hit me up yesterday, told me he had an issue with a name. Like people get really weird with these names on here. So salute to you, JT. Evan Neal. Oh man, yeah, that's definitely a dream right there. Linderbaum says Mel. Here's the crazy thing about it, about the Linderbaum thing, y'all. He wasn't on that list. Bring it back up. Now, I think there's like 3 other names that these are like 27 or 28-ish names when you count Jordan Davis. But he's not on the list. They do have 2 guys, Dawson Deaton, and I think Cam Jurgens. There you go. Cam Jurgens on the list, but no Linderbaum. Again, this doesn't mean everything, but I promise you it means something. The Dirty Visit list means something. And there is no Linderbaum on there. Jahan Dotson says Marcus Callaway, Elam. That's a dream pick, Elam? Interesting. Cross. He's on this list. Offensive tackle from Mississippi State. My dream is easy, man. It's Jordan Davis. I just feel like he is one of those picks that will have an effect on multiple levels of your team/defense. And I say team/defense because it's both of them. It's defense because obviously he's going to have an effect on the front, right? But he's also going to have an effect on your linebackers. And if he does get pushed in the pass game, which isn't his thing just yet, but if he does get, push that center guard in the pocket of the quarterback, now he's having an effect on the third level of your defense. And if he is that run stopper that we're looking for, now he's having an effect on your offense because you're getting the ball back. So Jordan Davis would be my dream pick because I think he's a piece of a puzzle that the Cowboys have long ignored, and that's why we are every single year in this constant rotation at the position, thinking, oh, we could just get by with scraps. You can get by, but you ain't advancing. So that's why I like Jordan. Trey Walker that's another one too. Now he's probably gonna go top 12, top 10. Marcus wants to know what I move up for Jordan. Remember, we talked about a few players I would do that for. Not a lot, but damn it, how far up we talking? He's one I would be willing to, but there is not many. I'm more so I'd rather trade back 4 spots. Depends what that would cost me. He falls around 20. If it ain't gonna cost me, would I be willing to give up a third? I try to finesse him, Marcus. I try to finesse him. I try to say, well, what about a pick next year? I need my picks this year. We don't got a lot of bodies. We only signed 2 players in free agency. I need my picks this year. I give you a 4th this year. I give you next year's 3rd. I'll get that 3rd rounder. I'll trade somebody. I'll get that 3rd rounder next year. I would not move up for Penny. 68 says we'd have to move up before Baltimore to get him. Where's Baltimore picking? Because I know that the Chargers are heavily involved with Jordan Davis too, and I think that's 17. Oh, I'd give up all those 5th round picks, Michael. I just don't know that a team would say, hey, we'll move down 4 spots for all your 5th round picks. I mean, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so Baltimore's at 14. Yeah, so if Baltimore's at 14 and the Chargers at 17, he might not fall beyond them. Yeah, that's where I was at with it, Los. What are we trading? If it's just a 3rd, I'd bite the bullet. There ain't too many I'd bite it for. I'd bite the bullet, but I would try to finesse it. They're not great negotiators, but I try to finesse it and send them something from 2023. Reaper wants to know, why are we visiting about 6 to 8 players that aren't going to be there when the Cowboys pick, right? Well, here's the thing about saying that. And I have to stop saying it myself. It's tough as someone that comes on and does a show every day. On one hand, you feel like so-and-so's not going to be there. On the other hand, every single draft, Reaper, there are guys that are there for whatever reason. There are guys that are there. There are guys that are taken way earlier than you thought. There's the CeeDee Lambs. There's the Justin Jeffersons. You know what I'm saying? There's Michael Parsons. Let's be real. Michael Parsons had no business being there at 12. This is before I seen a damn play in the NFL. He had no business being there at 12. So, on one hand, shouldn't be there, right? Air quotes. On the other hand, I'm positive. Somebody on this list is going to be there. I get it. There's guys that are 3rd and 4th round guys, but some of those top picks are going to be there, man. You just watch. You just watch. Yeah, James, CeeDee Lamb is the perfect example. And that's why I kind of have to bite my tongue a little bit about who's going to be here, who's not going to be there. You just never know in the draft. It's a huge crapshoot. People fall in love with a certain player and they get shot up the board. Remember, is it Farrell? I forget his first name, the cat from Clemson, a couple years ago. I had no clue he was going to go in the top. I mean, it was crazy. That was a year Clemson had a ridiculous front line, and a lot of those dudes went in the top 50 picks. But he went top 5-ish or something like that. So you just never know. Nacho's back in the building. What you got for us, Nacho? How you doing on this Feel Good Friday?
Man, how are you? How are you? Hey, listen, just listening in, and I think the excitement, with a month to go or so on the draft, I tell you what, I boiled it down to 4 players.
4 players? You picking at 24, Nacho.
Players.
You only got 4 players on your list.
4 players.
Okay, who you got? Who you got?
And I'm going to rank them. And I'm ranking them from my dream draft pick all the way down to the 4th. Okay, here we go. And this is based on, just whatever we're hearing, whatever we're listening, 30-day visits. With Dallas, they do it every year. They have a 30-day visit.
Yeah.
Then they kind of go to a pro day and a few pro days. So they kind of give you something, but they don't give you everything. So you and I are in agreement.
But who's your 4 players, though? Let's get
Jordan Davis, Jordan Davis, number 1, a must. And yes, I know when we talked about it yesterday that maybe if he's there within a couple picks, which I believe that could be the scenario, and if they really covet him, are we willing now at this point to say we can give up a 3rd?
That's the one.
I believe
that's one of very few I'd bite the bullet for you.
Then I would. I would, because this is something that, you bring in a Davis in there, what will that do to our run defense? What will that do to our linebacker corps? Just our overall defense, right? So I'm going to go Davis 1.
Okay.
And let me tell you a very second, I love this guy, his partner, Wyatt. David Wyatt, or Devontae Wyatt, he's my second choice. And he may be there for us at 24.
Yeah, a lot of people think that Wyatt's the better of the 2.
And let me tell you why I see Devontae Wyatt as a young Warren Zapp-like type with that explosive speed where he moves. You know what I mean? He kind of has those dynamics. So that's my second. My 3rd, yes, it is Linderbaum. Why I like him is because he's a center. And not only because I know center is not a prime position. Tackle and guard, are most suited that way. But I like this guy because he is the most refined technician lineman in the draft. And you bring him in there, and that center position, he will be our quarterback. He will be our quarterback in that offensive line. Come in there, and, man, we'll solidify that line. And then now what we have to do is bring in that veteran guard, tackle through the free agency, and then bring him in. That would be great. Now, my 4th, and the one that everybody's talking about that more or less might be our pick, is Kenyon Green at 4. But I have everybody else ahead of him in terms of what I feel are better quality players and probably higher rankings.
That's a great observation. I agree with you. I got Davis, Wyatt, and Linderbaum above Green as well. That doesn't mean I'm down on Green. I just think those guys are just better at this point right now. But Dallas needs, if you go off a need, I would flip Linderbaum and Green. They need Green more than Linderbaum, but Linderbaum is the only center I'm willing to take in the top 100. He's the only one. Because I got Biotish. I think Biotish going to his 2nd year, starting in his 3rd year overall. I think you can live with Biotish, right? I don't think he's going to derail your offense. So there's only one guy, I said this a bunch of times, that I'm willing to move him on from, and that's Linderbaum, unless you're going to get a J.C. Treader, right, or one of those centers in free agency. But Green is such a need. It's hard to ignore it if you're, quote-unquote, wiped out. And he's sitting there. I hate to use that term because he's not a wiped out guy. He is a dude. So I like the list. I do. I actually agree with these rankings.
Right. No, thank you. Yeah. And now and you know, it's going to be intriguing. It really is, and that's what's exciting about the draft. And let's just hope that our scouting department, as they have in the last so many years, they've been. I mean, they're doing their homework, and
we know they are.
We have hit in our number one draft picks, and let's just hope that let's hope that they really. I mean, I'm just kind of really pumped up about the idea that they're there at 24, but especially the top 15 picks, I believe, are the most prolific, like, pressure picks, I feel, for those teams that are drafted in the first top 15. And we're at 24. You're basically sitting and you're watching the game just come to you.
Yeah.
Where they can be at that position where, okay, let's say a quarterback is taken, so many receivers are taken, et cetera. They're scratching their draft board, and if and then it gets near that top 20, 21, 22, and those players that they really covet or they've fallen in love with, a crush, if it's there, I mean, I know we don't have the flexibility to get too cute and give up draft picks, but let me tell you,
no, we do not.
If there's a game changer, we got to do it, Sky. We got to do it, man.
There's only of this list, I'm only coming up for one. That's it. If the four you gave me, I'm not coming up for the other three. That's no knock on those dudes, you know. But if you can promise me that Wyatt is going to be Warren Sapp, then sure.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I tell you what. If you watch film on both of those players, Davis and Wyatt, obviously you get enamored with both. Davis obviously is just the monster.
But I think Wyatt lives in that backfield a lot. And I want to say, and maybe Professor O can confirm this to me, but more of a 3 tech, as opposed to a 1. I'll put his ass at 1. The Cowboys draft me. Hey, you playing next to Osa, and you playing next to Neville. You just deal with it. But I think they're two different players. I'm looking for that just a pure power player with some ability to do a little bit more. And I feel like you have to put 2 bodies on Jordan Davis, and even then he can kind of handle those as well. We talked about Brent Urban. You know, a lot of people think I knock Brent Urban. It's not that. Yes, you're supposed to swallow up double teams, but damn it, on occasion you need to make plays. You know, and he didn't do that last year for the Cowboys. And let's not act like this guy is some amazing player. Okay, he's a Jag. He is what he is. But Jordan Davis is way more than that, in my opinion, right now. And I think he can swallow up the double teams. He can crush your single coverage. He can push the center, guard, tackle, whomever, into the quarterback's lap, help your run game, also can assist a little bit in the passing game. Not a ton, but a little bit with push, and free up your linebacker. I just think he's just a much better player. So, you know, if Jordan Davis is there, he's the one of these 4 here.
We got to do it. We got to do it. And then lastly, so it looks like I came in late. What's the latest? What was your take on? I mean, it's no surprise, of course. We're still bargain shopping. But when I heard that Bobby Wagner signed with Rams,
you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
And we knew that. We knew it wasn't coming here. The Rams don't shock me because he visited the Rams. He's from L.A. The contract shocked me a little bit. I thought he was looking for a 1-year deal. Got a 5-year, but that's a 5-year funny money. It's likely a 2-year deal.
More or less, right?
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
And it sounded like he got around what he wanted, right? What was it, a 5-year 50? With
5-year $50 million up to 65, but again, that's a lot of funny money. I don't think the details came out yet. You know, it just looks good to say that, but it's probably a 2-year deal.
Hey, and how about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Todd Bowles, man? That's awesome.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. What a shocking development. But the way that Arians did it, I'm okay with it because he set up Todd Bowles to succeed, and I like that.
Absolutely. So listen, my man, have a good rest of your Friday, rest of your weekend, and exciting stuff as we go forward. But those, as of now, we'll see what happens as we get near the draft. But as of now, because we could name so many players, those are my 4 players right now. So let's see what happens if it changes between now and then.
See what happens. Appreciate you, Nacho. Enjoy your weekend, man.
All right, my man. You too. Bye-bye.
It's a good 4. I'd be happy with any of them. Somebody asked me about Jameson Williams. Where'd he go? Oh, Toby. He said, Sky, would you take Jameson Williams at 24? I like him a whole lot. I ain't gonna hold you. And I saw that he's kind of ahead of schedule with his ACL stuff. But I can't contradict myself, right? If I'm willing to take a Mechie that kept falling to the 3rd round for us in the mock draft. By the way, mock draft Monday. We said we were going to do that the entire 4 weeks leading up to the draft. We got that on Monday. We'll see what happens. Man, I really like him. I know he's likely not going to be available for training camp. Maybe not the start of the season. That's a tough one. And I know you have to look at it as this is beyond 1 year in the NFL. But they got to address that position, right? Like they probably got to get somebody that can play because Michael Gallup's not going to be available for the first month of the season. It's not. So, man, that's tough. You put me on the spot there. If they took him, I would not complain about it, right? But I would also have to come to the conclusion that, Dak in this passing offense is going to be looking at a situation it really hasn't seen in quite some time. I know you still have CD Lamb, right? But we went from probably a top 5, top 3, some argued the best wide receiving core to start the season. Michael Gallup, CD Lamb, Mari Cooper, Ced Wilson. I thought was a fantastic 4. And then you can throw Noah as he's a great 5. Now you start the season with CD Lamb, James Washington, Jameson Williams may not start, or whoever the rookie is. It doesn't really matter. Olave, Burks, whatever. They're a rookie. Semi Fayoko, TJ Vasher, Noah Brown. You could argue you're looking at a wide receiver core that's outside the top 15. I mean, maybe I'm being a little hard on it, but I'm just guessing here. Y'all tell me. I pull up the graphic there, but to start the season, in the first month of the season, if you told me you got CD Lamb, let's just say Chris Olave, right? Chris Olave, James Washington, Noah Brown. Those are your top 4 wide receivers. Would y'all say that is a top 10 group, top 15 group? I'd be hard pressed to say yes. A lot of teams have 2 to 3 dudes. We'd have 1 in CD Lamb and 2 possible. Or 1 in the possible, right? Like playing spades. You think that Washington could be a dude, and maybe he can be, but can he be that dude in the first month? I don't know. Olave maybe he can be that dude. He's a rookie. He got his issues with him, but he's a rookie. I think I'd rank that outside the top 15. That's just off the top of my head. I mean, maybe I could fit him in that 14, 15, but that's probably outside the top 15. So I don't know if you can afford to take a Jameson Williams. And that sucks because you're supposed to be looking beyond 2022. But if the Cowboys are content with saying, hey, man, listen, whatever happens the first month or 2 of the season, whatever. We want to kind of build this thing up for the end of the season. And if it's a good year, it's a good year. If it's not, it's not. We got plans for 2023. And I don't mean to throw some fuel to the fire of Sean Payton or another head coach, maybe Dan Quinn. But you can't rule out the possibility that the Cowboys are thinking beyond 2022 in a sense of team building, which I guess no team should be thinking 1 year, right? But the Dallas Cowboys seem to, from everybody, all the Cowboys nation, y'all feel like they're building for 2023 and beyond for Sean Payton. And honestly, how can I argue against you at this moment? They're not making moves and decisions to build up the roster to compete right now. When I say compete for a Super Bowl as we speak. At the very best, if you're the most optimistic, they're maintaining the roster. And you could argue that's not even the case. So, Quincy Sand.
Super chat.
Appreciate you for the $5 donation. He says, JSU, James Houston. Wow, I never thought I would see them bring in an HBCU player. I wonder if it's a favor to Dion. The boy led FSC in sacks. He balls. I think more teams should bring in HBCU players. I mean, the history of the NFL shows you there are ballers over there, right? And now with social media, technology, it's a lot easier to find these cats. Back then, it was a bit more difficult. It's a lot easier to find these guys now. A lot easier. All right. It is Feel Good Friday. So you know what that means. We're heading into the weekend, so y'all got to let me know what makes you feel good about yourself, about your friends, about your family, about whomever heading into this weekend. And like I said, it's Feel Good Friday, presented by Worth the Poor. One thing we can all agree on is watching the Cowboys can be stressful. We know that. Take the edge off of game days and stop by Worth the Poor, spirits and wine in the colony of Texas. I like to support the small businesses, and this is a family-owned and operated luxury liquor store with affordable prices. Okay, got a wide variety of everything: wine, beer, samples. If you like the top shelf liquor, they got it all. And now, what I want you guys to do, if you are interested, is download the Worth the Poor app. Okay, download the app, real easy. You got a bunch of them. You can get on Google Play, Apple App Store. Download the app, make your order. You get 5% off if you use the code A to Z Sports. And you don't even got to pick it up. They'll deliver it to you. And if you're not sure if they deliver in your area, if you are in the Denton County area or outside of it, just give them a call, schedule your delivery. They'll make it happen. Trust me, they will make it happen. My man was out there in the ice storm delivering stuff for his clients. So check out worththepoor.com. What makes you feel good? Got a couple things that make me feel good. You already know the number one thing. Marcus Flores Young says WrestleMania is Feel Good Friday for him. Yes, absolutely. I might have to do a little vlog or something for the members and do some behind the scenes stuff just so y'all could be a part of that thing, man. So this is definitely a dream event of mine to go to. Dream event of mine. I know what else makes me feel good. It's kind of personal. You know, I'm a very bad nail biter my whole life. But your boy hasn't bit, I've been biting his nails for about 3 weeks now, going on a month. And these things are starting to grow back, and, I feel good about it. Feel good about it. That makes me feel good on this Feel Good Friday presented by Worth the Poor. Been doing it my whole life. And so, I gotta change something. They say it takes 21 days, right, to break a bad habit, and that is a bad habit. I think I broke it. We'll know in another 3 weeks, but I think I broke it. Derek said they want us drunk when we're watching the Cowboys. No, but sometimes it can take the edge off. Take the edge off. Gregory says opening day is the 7th. It's time for Dodgers baseball. For all the America's pastime, right? Fans out there. The lockout was a little scary. I didn't know if y'all were going to get y'all baseball, but y'all got it. So, and it's back. Hey, my lady's in the building talking about she had to shame me into stop. She did a little bit. Josh Clinton says, my wife, daughter, and myself are healthy and alive. That's all a man needs to feel good. Got that right. Trip Ace, is y'all talking about top 10? We'll do that. We'll do that probably before the draft, maybe after the draft, because a lot of people are down on that. But we'll revisit that top 10 there. We'll revisit that top 10. All right. Cash says Texas Rangers, Mavericks, and Dallas Cowboys all the way. So you full-blown Dallas. Full-blown into it. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Also, don't we have Final Four this weekend? Come on, Toby. Duke's beating UNC. If UNC wins the title, I'm letting Jesse come on here and just do his thing. I'm a UNC fan, but he believes that. He went to UNC. He Tar Heel through and through. And I know he probably going to the thing. So let me hit him up actually about that. Tom says, got opening day Baltimore Orioles tickets. Easy to social distance at Camden Yards. Shot. That's it for Feel Good Friday, y'all. All right, listen, man. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to just say, man, y'all have a fantastic weekend. I'm excited for this weekend. I can't wait for it to begin for myself. I will keep y'all posted on everything that happens at the Mania. When I come back on Monday, we'll get a mock draft Monday going, interactive mock draft. We tested it out this past Monday. I thought it went well. I'll be a little bit more organized with it, and we'll have some fun with that thing. We'll have some fun with it. Make sure y'all check out A2ZSportsDallas.com on your way out. Hit that like button if you haven't, right? Subscribe if you haven't, and share this thing. Share this thing. I watched Moon Knight. Greg, I watched it. It's all right. Interesting. But appreciate you guys. Y'all were awesome. All the chats, the donations, the phone calls. Thank you very much. Enjoy y'all weekend. We out of here. Love you. Peace.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.